once again, your dog has emptied the trash can all over the floor, or you have a new puppy that keeps having potty accidents and you're at your wit's end. So you're thinking, okay, I need to punish them so they understand that what they're doing is not okay. And so how you do that, how you discipline your dog effectively, well, it's really simple. The way that you punish your dog or the way that you punish your puppy is you don't. Punishing or disciplining your puppy is not only counterproductive, it can actually lead to more unwanted behavior. Have you ever been in that situation where you find yourself yelling or fussing at your dog to stop doing something that they keep doing every single day? Did you ever stop to ask yourself, wait, I yell or try to discipline or punish my dog for doing that all the time, yet they continue to do it? Well, that's because dogs do not live in a world like you and I. They're opportunists by nature. That means that they're seeking things that give them pleasure or reward, or seeking things that they desire. Now, the good news, there's really been 4 easy things that have been super effective, really easy to execute on, that have helped me stop unwanted or what many call bad behavior in our dogs. So if your dog keeps jumping up on the counter and every time they jump up, they're able to grab something. Let's say you leave bread up there or cookies up there or your meal up there, and every so often, a few times a week, they jump up there, they're able to get that bread or able to get that cookie. That's actually positively reinforcing that behavior. Or if your dog is barking out the window and you yell at them, oh, Fluffy, oh, Finnegan, or oh, Ben, stop doing that. And you're yelling at them and you're trying to punish them and yell at them to stop. But you notice that they don't stop. They continue, they'll go back an hour later and do it again, or they'll go back the next day and do it again. It's because what they're learning is in that scenario, and I know this because I've been working with Wally on this, is that they bark out the front door because they're nervous or they hear something or they're scared or they're trying to alert you. And by you yelling back at them, in a sense, in that scenario, you're barking at them and you're coming at them with this intense energy. You're trying to get them to stop. But how they interpret that is, oh, mom or dad is intense in this moment. I should get more intense. I'm being reinforced. I should do this behavior more and more. So how do I address this? I reward consistently and reinforce the behavior that I want them doing by catching them in the act and then reinforcing it with some type of reward, treats, play, verbal praise, toys, or some of their food. So for example, one thing we did with Finn when he was really, really little is every time we caught him sitting on his own, like literally just being in the sit position on his own, we would mark that immediately with our marker Q, which is YES, and follow with something of high value. For him, it was treats and food, and sometimes soft toys too, huh, Finn? And balls. You love balls. And we did this so often that it became second nature to him, that when he wanted something or he wanted attention, he would run up to us and sit. Another one I love doing is if I catch my dogs laying calmly, which if Finnegan, touch. Yes, like Bentley here. If I catch him laying down calmly on his dog bed, even if I didn't ask him to do that, you can just walk up and reward that. Yes, good boy, Bentley. Good job. Another great example, if you catch your dog eyeing your steak, let's say you left a plate of food on the counter and they look away from that plate of food, you better mark that with the marker QYES and then follow with some type of reward. Even if in the moment you don't have any treats or food or toy on you, you can just go, yes, good job, Bentley, and a little scratch on the chest or maybe behind the ear if they like that. The key here is to reinforce the behavior that you want to get more of the behavior that you desire. And when you reinforce behavior the dog offers on their own, it's going to be more meaningful and more intentional to them and stick a lot better. And my dogs, we still work on stuff even today. A lot of people comment like, Rachel, your dogs are so perfectly behaved. I'm like, you're watching a 10-minute video clip of my entire day. I've got some crazy monkeys here. We work on stuff every single day and we have up days and down days just like you. So when I sit here and say that being inconsistent with what you expect from your dog can be confusing, I'm not saying that as a jab on you. I'm saying that as more of a self-awareness and understanding that if we are not consistent with our dogs, which I am not perfect, as I mentioned, we also can't expect them to be consistently perfect. And this is why it's very important when we work with our dogs and train our dogs that we are having structure and routine in their day so that they know they're going to get physical exercise most every day if possible. They're gonna get some mental stimulation. They're gonna have to work for their food a bit, and that all family members in the household are holding our dogs accountable in the same way. Like one family member letting the dog on the couch and the other not can be really confusing. And these seem like really small things, but these inconsistencies can actually impact our dog's behavior outside of the home or in other aspects of their life. Because then when you ask for things like a Finnegan down, yes, good boy, good job. If other times of his day in life, I'm not being consistent with following through on what I'm asking, then maybe when I ask him for DOWN in that moment isn't as important in his mind, is a way that he could perceive that. Now, that leads me to one of the most important and valuable things I've done with my dogs to help unwanted and undesirable behavior, and that is just working with them, right? Like working during meal time instead of just putting a plain bowl on the floor. We're team no dog bowl here, which means that during meal times we work with them on brain games, or we work with them on basic sits or downs or the touch cue, or we take some food in a little baggie and we go on a walk with them and practice on loose leash walking, because dogs, for the most part, need a job. They need to have some kind of stimulation during the day. And if it wasn't for you and I, they would never leave the four walls of our home. And that's really boring. And especially for creatures as smart and intelligent and as driven as our dogs. Even if you think your dog is pretty lazy, I guarantee most of them really enjoy having some kind of game to play at least once or twice a day, or some kind of mental activity. One example is I love these. All right, I'll give the boys these. These are the Westpaw. These are linked to my shop page below with some special links. But these are their Westpaw toys. You sit, good boy. I have some of their treats in here. I'll talk about some of my favorite treats at the end. And it's a little treat dispensing toy. And what this does is I can give them these a few times a day with some healthy treats. And you sit, good boy, go get it. And because they have to work to get the treats out, or if you feed a dry food like a kibble, you can feed them their meal this way. Because they have to work to get it out, over here, so they can see you, they have to use their mind. And by doing this, it takes away some of the boredom, some of the anxiety, some of the stress they may be feeling in their life, and allow them to release it through brain mental activities. And this helps with all aspects of working with our dog. The other benefit of working with our dog regularly through walks or practice training cues is it builds confidence and it builds our bond with them. The more confident our dog is, the more sure they are of what is expected of them, the more likely they're going to do a behavior that we want versus doing one that we don't want. Another example of what I like to do when my dog is doing something I don't want them to do is redirection. Let's say we're walking on leash and my dog is getting ready to bark at a squirrel that's across the street or somebody else walking their dog. Instead of allowing them to practice that behavior, I love to redirect, do a 180. I have leash training tips down below, because both Finn and Wally have issues sometimes on leash with other dogs around. But I like to do a 180 turn and redirect. And as soon as they focus back on me walking the opposite direction, I reward with praise or toy or treats or play. And this reinforces the behavior that, ooh, when you see something that is exciting or maybe makes you nervous, there's no need to freak out and start barking. I'm gonna take care of it for you. We're gonna change direction. You're gonna feel safe and you're gonna be confident in me. And by doing this is I'm starting to reinforce that when you see something you don't like, focus on me and I'm gonna take care of you. And that's what we want our dogs to ultimately feel, confident in us as their caregivers and their guardians to take care of the situation so they don't have to manage every potential and perceived scared thing in their world. Of course, we always practice. Let's say if guests come over and they jump all over guests, I have videos linked down below as well on how I specifically in-depth handle guests coming over with wild and crazy monkey dogs. But practice is key. Practice having guests come over and using the place cue to have your dog stay on that instead of jumping up on guests. Again, videos linked below on how I teach that. Or let's say that your dog barks at the front doorbell. Practice your dog getting desensitized to the doorbell being rang or somebody knocking on the door, and having your dog engaging with you on a different activity or working on this West Paw toy here. Oh, we're not gonna grab that, son. No, no, no. Yes, good boy. Instead of focusing on the doorbell, practicing behaviors that makes your dog uncomfortable can be key. Or let's practice. Get a plate of food that's really appetizing to your dog. Always set them up for success. Of course, leave it on the counter. Watch them like a hawk. If they look at that food and then look away, yes, you reward that. Reward the behavior of looking away, and then give them something more appetizing, right? Like give them some of their favorite treats. Yes, I know, Bentley. We've done that with you, because has Bentley eaten food off the counter? Absolutely. Then he gets an upset tummy. Yes, I don't like dog tongues in my face. I know, I'm a crazy dog mom, but being licked is not a favorite thing of mine. But I'll kiss you. Okay, one kiss. Okay, yes. Okay, one kiss. Oh, okay, yes, yes. You know, Bentley turns 12 in like 6 weeks. Can you believe that? Oh, yes, yes, yes. What we can do for your birthday. Also, if you like this bandana, there's some details linked below on this. I did a collaboration with the Paws. It's a husband and wife that owns this tiny company out of Bali, and they hand make these bandanas. Proceeds support rescue and shelter dogs, which is incredible. But we did this collaboration together because I wanted to support them. And I'm obsessed with bandanas. I have a bandana stand right back there of all my dog's bandanas. So I thought this would be fun to kind of elevate the cool stuff they're doing. So there's links for that linked down below. And you've heard me say this before, but always setting them up for success. So let's say you have a puppy and they keep having potty accidents everywhere. Well, my potty training video, which has helped millions, is linked below. But one thing I love using are things like baby gates or playpens or even crates. I call this managing the environment, so that they have a smaller, for a puppy, they have smaller access to your house, so you can have more of an eye on them. That's setting your puppy up for success, so you can really pay attention to, okay, they look like they're sniffing, I need to get them outside. Or let's say you have a dog that keeps barking out your front window, shut the blinds or put a baby gate or playpen, which I have my favorite baby gates, playpens, and crates linked below on my shop page. Put that in front of the window so they can't get up to it. Because here's the thing, dogs learn by practicing a behavior and then getting some kind of reinforcement of the behavior. And the more they practice it, the more likely they're going to do it. So barking out the front window or barking when you're on leash or pulling on leash, the more they can practice that, the more of an habit or a habitual behavior it's going to be. And you may think, well, but how are they getting rewarded? Well, like I said before, if your dog is barking at something, they're usually doing it because they're nervous or excited or scared, or they're trying to alert you. And by barking and bringing attention to it, and especially in you yelling at them, they get some type of endorphins and positive reinforcement internally from that. And that's why we want to redirect and get them to focus on us instead, and then reward them for stopping that behavior. Okay, now I do want to talk a little bit more about my favorite brain games for dogs, because I think that's going to help you tremendously. You can click the video right here and we'll jump over there together. Or if you're more interested in learning about more leash tips and leash hacks to stop dogs that are really just barking on leash and pulling and lunging at other dogs, click the video right here and I'll give you what tips worked for me. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.